Good morning, Utah Golf Radio, coming to you live today from the beautiful downtown studios of ESPN 700 in Salt Lake City. We are in the mothership, but we are celebrating the new tee box in Riverton, and this is our State Am preview show. We are coming to you in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. I am Paul Pugmire, your host and president of First Tee Utah. And we are, of course, coming to you powered by T-Box, as we always are. T-Box, where they have cracked the code on the whole golfer experience. T-Box with clubs, community, and coaching. And we are joined by our good friends. And you know these folks because they have made you know them over the years. They are the new owners. They are the owners of the new T-Box franchise in Riverton. I'm talking about Kelton Kirsch and Carly Hirsch. Kelton, Carly, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
And I am sitting across the desk from our co-host, Jan Brownstein. Jan, good morning.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, guys. It's good to have you here.
Yeah, this is a lot of good. We are really looking forward to this. This first hour of the show is presented by Salt Lake City Golf at slcgolf.com or the Salt Lake City Golf app. Check that out wherever you get your apps. You can use either the website or the app for tee times on any of the great Salt Lake City golf courses.
I did that this week.
Where'd you play?
I played Glendale, and I'm playing Forestdale this afternoon.
Well, I think Forestdale's a treasure. We've talked about that.
It really is, and it's a perfect, nice little walk, and late afternoon, then go grab some dinner. It just feels like a nice Saturday.
And I love me some Glendale because I think an urban golf course is a special thing. And we have one here in Salt Lake City, and it is really a great thing as well.
Played it very well. Had a good day.
Nice. Kelton.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Buttercup.
There is so much to talk about. We talk about T-Box a lot here because we like doing that. And you've got one now. You and Carly, your incredible wife, you guys have joined together, and you, of course, look, just in case anybody doesn't know, we are talking about two of the leaders of the Utah golf community, Kelton Hirsch, a former State Am champ, a former horse at Brigham Young University, Carly Hirsch, former UGA Player of the Year, former horse at Utah Valley University, and you guys have joined forces in so many great ways. Do we want to take a minute and talk about your two beautiful kids?
Yeah, that's what most of our life kind of revolves around. Yeah, they're 3 and 2, so our life is busy. And we were just talking about the 4th of July. I was like, we're a little tired. We were late night, but we had fun. And so, no, they're a hoot. And it's fun to have them at the tee box with us, too, because they're all about it, too.
So 3-year-old, 2-year-old, you got nothing to do. You may as well fill your hours by starting a new business. Tell us how it's been getting this tee box up out of the ground.
Yeah, it's been great. We've been in talks with T-Box for the last year and a half and trying to make this happen. And, we opened last month or May 31st. So we're just over a month into it, and it's been a blast. We're having a lot of fun. And like you said, we've been tending to the kids the last few years and to get back into the golf community a little more. We've been a little absent the last few years, but we're ready to be back and enjoy all the fun with everybody.
What is the biggest thing you've learned getting this started, Carly?
Oh, the biggest thing we learned, I mean, it's definitely a learning curve for us of learning a whole new system, but it's definitely something that we are passionate about golf. And so we've learned that other people are very passionate about golf too. So we're so excited that we can build a place where also very passionate people that love golf or geek out about golf can come and can just spend couple hours there, work out. They could just hang out there. So we are happy to have a space that everyone that we can relate to can come together. And whether that's a family or one person at a time, I mean, there's a lot of ways people can come in and use it. So it's just, we've learned that everyone from all walks of life are enjoying it. And so that's kind of fun to be able to have a space that everyone can come together and hang out. So it's been fun.
It's funny to me to hear you say, we know there are people who are passionate about golf and geek out about golf. I could feel our entire audience in unison shaking their heads, going, "Yeah, yeah, that's
Totally.
me." and and it really is a cool thing. Now, you guys go into this, of course, with as you mentioned, Carly, a history in the game. You guys are geeks. You are nerds, which I respect. Those are terms of high respect and honor in this space here. But you're also both highly accomplished, state am champ, UGA Player of the Year. Both of you with really superb college careers. Both of you golf professionals, members of the Utah Section PGA, which is a thing. Kelton, what's it been like for you becoming a businessman now?
Honestly, you reeling off all this stuff sounds like past life for me. It's like
Okay.
I call it my semi-retirement. I haven't been playing much the last few years. It's been fun to get back into it, but it's a blast being involved in golf after having such a great career, playing in high school and then college, and now playing a little bit of professional golf. It's been fun to shift to the other side and really helping other people come to the game, enjoy golf the same way we did, but also use some of our expertise in helping people get better. Golf is much more enjoyable as you're seeing progress and jump into the next level. So it's really fun to just see people taking those little steps that we took 10, 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of helping the next group of young amateurs as well as new players to the game.
Let's talk about some of the things that you guys offer there at the T-Box in Riverton. And let's start with the other day. I stopped in to say hi, to set up some things for this show. And you were in the midst of doing a club fitting for a really nice young guy who was trying to figure out how to make it to the next step in his golf journey. Club fitting, it's one of the things. And something that you know about. You've had to have clubs that fit you to accomplish what you've done. Talk to us about that, some of the other things you offer there.
Yeah, it's been a blast. So we do club fitting. We have all the main manufacturers. We have everything we need to do a full club fitting. What I really love about T-Box is it allows us to take a really consultative approach with our members and new people. We get to see them over and over. I think a lot of times when I was getting fit as a young player, it was you see the fitter for an hour and you may never see him again, right? So that's really fun at T-Box is we get to fit these guys, and then they're the ones coming in, on a daily, weekly basis. So we get to see them with their new clubs. We get to try new things out. If the stuff they're working with isn't great, we can just try it out, and we can kind of go a longer-term approach to club fitting and how your clubs can be adjusted to your game.
What did you end up getting for that guy?
He got fit for tailor-made P790s.
Okay,
irons.
nice sticks, man.
Yeah, upgrading his 2015 Apex Pros.
I looked in his bag. We chatted for a minute. Those are okay clubs. They're fine. They're not going to hurt you. But getting some P790s, especially with the right shaft for you, that's an improvement.
Yep, and he didn't have a 7-iron, so it'll be nice to have.
Okay.
That's important.
Yeah, I'm all in favor of having a 7-iron. I'm very pro 7-iron. Have one of those in your bag.
I have one. I don't use it, but I know I'm supposed to have one, so I can't.
You are
I have
supposed
one
to
in there.
have one.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have one. I don't use it, but I do have
It
a
stays
7.
really clean.
It is the cleanest club in my bag.
What do you mean you don't use it?
I don't use irons, so I have it in there. I have a 7 and a 9 just in case for a distance situation, but I don't use them on the regular. No.
That's a valid point, Jan. Actually, I think that you should take a look at hybrids, fairway woods.
That's why I have hybrids and fairway woods,
Yeah,
so I know how to
just
use.
make sure they're fit for you, right, and that
Yeah.
you've got what you need. And for a long time, people just had a standard, a kind of a cliche fairway wood setup in their bag. And actually, Kelton and I first really started paying attention to this when you and I played together at Jeremy Ranch, and it's been probably 6 years ago. Yeah, you're squinching your face. I'm trying to remember when it was. But anyway, and you were at BYU at the time, and you weren't carrying a 3-wood. And I thought, isn't that just what you're supposed to do? And then I watched you carefully, and the answer is no. You're not just supposed to do it. You're supposed to do things that fit. So fast forward, Dustin Johnson put a 7-wood in his bag. Let's go another step here. We played with, Jan, you and I played with Steel DeWald last week.
He has a 9.
7-iron and, excuse me, 7
wood.
wood. I meant to say, and a 9
9
wood.
wood.
Yep.
Steel DeWald, a big hitter, lots of speed. He's carrying a 9 wood, and his longest iron is a 5-iron. And getting these, getting the configuration of what's in your bag to fit your game really makes some sense. Carly, I
teach a lot of ladies, and when you talk about steel, like, yes, he can hit it really far, and I have a lot of ladies that will come and like, I just can't hit this 3. Like, what is this? I'm like, don't even take it out of your bag.
And that's another thing. Hitting a 3-wood off the turf, I think, is one of the harder shots in the game.
100%.
If not one of the hardest shots in the game.
Yep.
And that's one thing I remember you mentioning back 6 years ago, Kelton. You're saying, no, I just have a hard time making good contact with this off the turf. I'm thinking, well, holy cow, if Kelton is having a hard time with it, I really need to evaluate what I'm doing here.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I still don't play a 3-wood for that same reason. If I hit a good 5-wood, I turn down the degrees on a 5-wood, and I hit that head a lot better than the 3-wood. So a good 5-wood was going further and more controlled than a
and with a better trajectory, meaning a better descent angle. Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
And that's the stuff we're trying to optimize.
And see, I didn't know about the 3-wood, it being hard and have these
It
issues.
is.
I never knew about them, which is probably good because my 3-wood is probably my favorite club in my bag because I can hit it off almost any terrain.
That's amazing.
Except for sand, and my contact on it is fantastic. But that's the thing is that was the biggest club in my bag.
Well, gosh, Jan, if that's what you're doing, then first of all, go you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a hard thing.
No one told me it was hard at first.
Oh, maybe
so I
we
didn't
shouldn't
know.
have told her, Carly.
No one.
Yeah,
I don't understand it, but
Yeah, don't listen to us.
But that's why we do it, right? So
So you don't, and I do. I'm guilty. I'll say it, and the girls talk about it and say, no, take it out of your bag. You don't need it right now. I mean, it's okay. You don't need it.
Yep. And everybody's different, right?
Everyone's
You
Yep.
hit your 3-wood
Yep.
best. I never hit a 3-wood good, but we're very.
I still
different
play
levels.
a 3-wood,
Yeah.
You
but
do.
I hit my 3-wood pretty
Yeah,
good. So
I love it.
yeah,
Yeah,
everyone's different.
everybody's different. Lindsay has a 5. She didn't. She couldn't get a 3.
Yeah, I've gone to a 4-wood and 7-wood,
Mhm.
but I'm thinking I'm going to go 5-wood, 7-wood.
Yeah, I like
That's
Mhm.
kind of the direction I'm going for all the same reasons, Kelton, that you talk about. It's taken me a minute to catch up. I'm normally slower than most, but it's I think the point here for you guys out there listening is don't just assume about certainly your fairway woods, but any of the configuration in your bag. Make sure it's right for you, for the way you strike the ball, for the way you play the game, for what you need to score better. And getting the clubs right really, really matters. And that's one of the things you're doing at T-Box. Okay, I took us down a rabbit hole. We were talking about things you do at T-Box. Let's go over some other things there. Carly, one of the things that I love about T-Box is a focus and orientation on junior golf, bringing the kids in. Tell us about that.
Yeah. We actually just barely started our first junior camp actually last week. So we are doing that in part with Operation 36. Which
Oh,
is,
that's so great.
yeah, it's an amazing curriculum.
Yes,
I,
it
I,
is.
I love Operation 36.
I to this day want to take Operation 36.
You should.
Well,
I think everyone should.
Yeah, we started a ladies class, Jan.
You did?
So yeah,
You know,
Thursday night.
Let's talk about this because all of my girls on Girls Go Golfing, we were talking about this, and I was explaining what Operation 36 is, and
Yeah.
all of them were like, "I want to take that class. I want to take that
Yeah,
class." So
well, we can
let's
chat.
organize
Let,
one.
let me give a
Yeah.
quick summary of Op 36 for those of you who might not know it. It derives out of Cameron McCormick, Jordan Spieth's coach. Jordan Spieth has never known in his life shooting above par because Cameron McCormick had him go very, very close to the hole, start with short holes when he was a little kid. And so the idea of Op 36 is you start close to the hole, 25-yard holes, 50-yard holes. Shoot 36, you move back. Shoot 36 there, you move back again. Shoot 36 there, you move back again. And you keep you train your brain to go par or better. You train your brain, I make pars, I make birdies. length of the hole, keep it down to where you make pars, you make birdies. I think it is vital that kids learn in this way. I think it is certainly advisable that adults learn in this way.
I think so too. I think all the
Totally.
women. This is a perfect vessel for women who are just learning how to play golf, or they're being talked into it, or peer pressure, whatever. But I noticed that there are so many women coming to this game. I mean, with Girls Go Golfing, I probably approve 100 women a day.
That's amazing.
That just want to know more about golf and be a part of something that's golf.
Yeah. I have one other thing I want to say about this. Please, everybody, remove from your vocabulary this horrible notion of saying men's tees, ladies' tees, blah, blah, blah.
Stop it.
Yeah, just stop. Just stop. And move forward. Play tees appropriate to how far you hit the ball and where your scoring capability is right now. And I guarantee you it is 10,000 times more fun to shoot 36 for 9 holes, to shoot around par, than it is to shoot 100. Go to shorter holes and shoot around par. It's fun. It's more fun.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's fun. And it's a great way to just makes it digestible to be able to learn how to play, because it's very intimidating to start golf.
Yeah.
It's so big. And
Yeah.
so I think it's a really great way to just make it so people feel like they're making progress.
Well, they feel they experience success.
Totally.
And they experience it repeatedly.
Yep.
And when you experience success doing something repeatedly, you don't forget, and it's in there.
For sure. No, it's great. So so we have those Opt 36 programs, which have been great. And then, I mean, we both personally still do coaching there as well with individual lessons or group lessons. And we love the junior stuff. I mean, we're both very passionate about that. Like, we just feel like we have a lot to teach and
I agree.
coach for the next generation.
Yeah.
And like, yes, there's the swing part of it, but also like the mental side of it
Mhm.
and like just the progression. I have learned a lot. It's been a very reflective thing for myself. Like, I was always a very hard on myself golfer and like expected a lot, and sometimes that was to my detriment. And so being able to watch these younger kids and start to help them in a different
And
way
you have to give
seeing
them.
a good
You're giving them the
perspective.
positivity. You're
For
not.
sure, that
you're-
I definitely
that you
didn't have.
Yeah, you're giving them everything you didn't have.
There's many times I've left a lesson where I call my dad and I'm like, Dad, I'm so sorry. I was so negative. I'm like, why was I doing that? This game is so hard. Like, what the heck? So it's been a good perspective
Yeah.
thing. So it's been so great to be able to teach the younger kids and be able to really help them start to improve and grow. And we have such a great setup there that they can really come and practice and have the physical aspect of it as well, and just really start to see progress and improvement.
In that context, this week, T-Box Corporate announced a partnership with the Utah Golf Association that will be a benefit for every UGA member. Another reason that if you are not a member of the Utah Golf Association,
What's wrong with you?
Go to UGA.org. It's pretty simple. Click on the join button. It's cheap, so $30-some. You need to be a member of the UGA. All the benefits. Now a T-Box benefit, Fairways Magazine, blah, blah.
And
Make sure
you're
you join the
supporting Utah
UGA,
Golf,
and you're
most
supporting
important.
Utah Golf. A T-Box partnership was announced this week with the UGA to benefit UGA members. We were able to talk with Colby Kendall from
T-Box.
T-Box Corporate, and we've got a short little tape of the interview there where he tells us all about it. Let's hear from Colby Kendall.
So, Colby, you guys are getting deeper into the game in some really important ways. Partnership with the UGA. Tell us about that.
Yeah, me and Easton have been kind of going back and forth for the last year to figure this partnership out, and it just makes sense. The members of the UGA are members of the T-Box as well. I'd say majority of our members hold a handicap, and they're really trying to get better at golf, and we share that same audience, and it just made sense. We love what the UGA is doing for the future of golf, and we're also impacting the future of golf, getting people into the game, but also helping those people that get into the game get better and lower those handicaps. And so it's going to be a great partnership. We're really looking forward to it.
Tell a UGA member listening to this what it means to them individually.
Yeah. So with this partnership, I mean, there's a lot that is goes along with this partnership. But as far as the benefits for a UGA member, we're going to have some member days for UGA members. We'll have member days at all of our locations where they can come in, whether they're a member of T-Box or not. If you hold a handicap and a UGA membership, you'll have access to T-Box to play on those member days. We also have some other exciting things in the works that we can't talk about yet, but
Oh, just tell me.
well, there could be some indoor tournaments, indoor championship type tournaments, similar to the state amateur, but indoor in the wintertime when you can't play outside.
Fun.
So,
And the fitness aspect of it. One of the real ways in which T-Box has cracked the code on the whole golfer experience is to get golfers physically ready. And tell us what it means for the physical fitness aspect of a golfer's game.
yeah, I mean, if you were to walk into a tee box, a lot of people, I think, assume tee box is a simulator lounge, and that's quite the opposite. There's not much lounging in a tee box facility. When you walk in, you'll notice we have full gyms in all of our locations, and you've probably seen it on tour. Fitness is just such a big part of golf now. Paying attention to your body, your physical fitness, your nutrition, all of that, your mobility. So all of our box pros in our T-Box facilities are all TPI certified. They are training our members, our T-Box members, on how to strengthen their golf swing, how to prevent injury, how to increase mobility, and just have an overall better golf game.
And so for a UGA member, they'll be able to get better access, better deals. How will that work?
So those are the deals we're working out, Easton and I with the UGA. But yes, as part of those member days, when they come in and play their 18-hole round, we will have free T-Box assessments available for all of those members that come in, all the UGA members that come in. So Kyler, people like that at our facilities will run these UGA members through a full T-Box assessment, and part of that is a TPI assessment. So testing mobility, strength, all of that kind of stuff, and then we will provide programming for them to follow to help improve in the areas that they might lack.
Cool stuff. We're looking forward to it. Thank you very much. We'll learn more. We'll talk more in the future.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul.
That was Colby Kendall from T-Box Corporate. Kelton, tell people what they need to do to get connected with you guys at T-Box in Riverton. You're serving not only the whole South Valley, you're the only one in Salt Lake County right now. So, and folks, it's just right hard off of Bangerter. It's real easy to get to. How do they do that?
Yeah, we are just right off of Bangerter, like you said, 126 South, just west of Bangerter Highway. Come by and see us. We're there most of the time, Monday through Friday. And then our facility is 24/7. So our members do have 24/7 access. We'd love to schedule a tour with you. Give us a call. The phone number is 801-508-4616, or just check us out online at the T-Box Riverton page.
Are you guys offering the 30 for 30?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
So the rest of the summer, we do have a $30 30-day trial. Gives you access just like any of our members.
It's very cool. It's a great way to try out T-Box. And usually probably within the first trial week, they're like, yeah, okay. It's almost by the time you're done, you can't not have T-Box in your life.
For sure.
That's right.
That's our goal. That's our goal.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Not have T-Box.
That's how they get you. They
Dan's
give you
going to start
that-
calling our trial members
Yeah.
and just give them that pitch. I like
Exactly,
it.
that works. All right, we're going to talk more about that. This is our State Am preview show as well. We've got to move on, but Kelton, before we do that, I want to ask you a question. What does it take to win a State Am?
I wish I knew.
You do. You've done it, dude.
No, it's a long week. It
But wait a
takes
minute,
lot of
do you
endurance.
you have to remember, even though you have, it's so funny how we remember things, we don't remember things, but something like that, I mean, I think I could remember what I ate for breakfast that morning, what I did, where my mental, where I was. Did I think I was going to win? Did you think you were going to win?
No, and I think that was why I had a chance to win. Is I had low expectations for the week. It's a long haul.
You just wanted to have.
It's
did-
an
were
endurance
you- were you
test, a
all about the
survival
fun?
test, yes.
Were you all about the fun that
all
day?
about fun, and like I had something to prove as well.
Okay.
I think if we were talking about this show and on this show, my name wasn't coming up that year.
Okay.
So I felt like I had something to prove, and I could go out and show people what
Nice.
I could do. And like I said, it is like it was yesterday. There was all the memories come back
Yeah.
this week as you're talking about the state am and the different things. And it's a ton of fun. It is an endurance test. You got to play good golf all week, and you got to make sure you're playing good at the right time. And sometimes it has to do with your opponent and how they're playing. And it's just.
Well, not only did you pull it off, not only did you endure and did you win, but you went through some really, really hard matches to do that. In the final, you beat Braden Swap, a great player. In the semi, you took out your then BYU teammate, Patrick Fishburne,
Oh,
who is
boy.
now on the PGA Tour and was dominant at the time, and you sent him home.
That's my claim to fame.
Yep.
You beat
Patrick's out on the tour. I did beat him one time, so there's that.
Well, and your name's on the trophy.
Oh, and you
All right.
got a wife.
And I got the wife.
You
Yeah,
get it.
we met each other like 4 weeks later. You know.
Yeah,
That's how I
and
knew he
it was
was.
super impressive. You're like, oh, yours.
Yeah,
State
Carly,
Am
is
champ?
that-
I
is that
remember
it, Carly?
watching the
State Am
UGA live
champ.
video.
There you
champ,
go.
yeah.
I do remember.
There-
I'll be honest. I watched that UGA live video of their final round.
And you thought he was
and,
cute.
well, he was cute, but I remember watching the first tee of the final round, and
Yeah.
I didn't know him at the time. And he hit his tee shot so fast on that first hole, like the very first hole of the day. Like I was like, what the heck was that?
Kelton doesn't linger over a
No,
shot.
does not
No.
at all. And I remember that before I even met him. I was
That's
like,
so
what the
fun.
heck?
See,
Yeah,
that
if
is
you
great.
don't have time to think, you can't mess
You
up.
can't
Is
mess
that
it up.
it?
Oh my gosh, that's too
Oh my
funny. So
gosh.
you did get a wife out of the Utah Stadium
Okay.
in a roundabout
I
way.
didn't know this story.
Hey
That is
guys, play
great.
well this week.
Yeah,
you never know.
exactly.
You never know, guys. It could happen. Your future wife could be watching you play this
That's
next
it.
weekend.
Hit it fast and play
Oh,
well.
I love it.
I love that. That's going to be a thing.
All right. Okay, we will have a lot of State Am preview stuff the rest of the show, including our annual 10 Who Can Win segment. That will be at 9 o'clock. Tommy Sharp and Kurt Craigthorpe will be joining us for that as well. All right, Jan, we need to do ourselves a little JetX update.
Come listen to a story about a pro named Jed, a poor three-putter, he had bogeys in his head. And then one day he was shooting at the green, got the worst dang bounce anybody ever seen. Left, that is, short-sighted, in the rough.
The JetX Jug brought to us by our good friends at First Utah Bank. Check them out at firstutahbank.com. And the JetX Jug, of course, the backdoor fantasy game we play here at Utah Golf Radio, where we are identifying the 3 players who will barely keep their tour cards, barely be in the top 100. You get a point for every position they finish up to and including number 100. Jan, what do they get for 101 and beyond?
Zippity doo-dah.
Nothing, not a nil, no points. That is the fun of the game, and it is highly volatile. But this week, for the 3rd week in a row, Tay Freshy is leading. Jan, what do you think of that?
Who helped her pick these picks?
She did it herself.
She
Come on.
did not.
Okay.
But
Right.
you know what? I will say this: the board has not changed in 3 weeks.
Yeah, John Porter
So,
remains in 3rd place,
yeah.
Rhino in 2nd, and
It's really going to come down to these last few weeks,
Yeah.
Patrick.
it will. It will.
Patrick.
It will at that. All right, the JetX Jug. Check them out on our website. Entries are closed for the year, but you can follow the game into its finish line at UtahGolfRadio.com. We need ourselves a UPod update.
Give me an update, I need some scores. Wanna see my U-Pots on the leaderboard and watch them play, yeah. Whoa, give me an update, I need some scores. Wanna see my U-Pots on the leaderboard and watch them play, yeah.
The UPod update brought to us by our good friends at Scott Golf. Check them out at scottgolf.com. This Utah product is so good. These clubs are sweet. scottgolf.com. Jan, how are the UPots doing?
Well, they currently are at the John Deere. Zach Blair and Fish are both there. Zach is currently sitting T36 -6, 136 on a round of 69 and 67. Fish is T43 -5, 137 on a round of 70 and 67. Now, there were so many players earlier or later on in the day that they moved the cut from 4 to 5.
Cut line will move on a Friday
Yep.
afternoon. That's the
So,
nature
which
of it.
was great because
Yep.
then Patrick got in. So, what can you tell me now as far as his status? As far he would have to win this thing in order to get an invitation to the Open.
He Patrick?
Yes, Patrick.
Yes.
Yeah, he would have to win outright win.
That's his last ticket
chance.
in.
But he can play the Scottish Open next week. Is what it sounded like.
Yeah,
Rob on their podcast.
Yes,
What it sounded
yes.
like during that. Okay, good.
Yeah, so both Patrick and Zach make the cut,
the
which
cut.
make the weekend, which means they will make a check and they will get FedEx points. It is the drill on the tour. Make the cut. They both did it.
Okay, we're going to go to Memorial Health. Most of the boys did miss the cut. However,
This is on the Corn Ferry Tour.
Corn Ferry Tour, yes. However, Preston Summerhays goes to the Memorial Health, finishes T7, minus 21, 263 on rounds of 67, 66, 65, and 65. This is his first top 10 finish after only his third start on the Corn Ferry.
Way to go, Preston.
That's pretty stinking.
Real strong
cool.
weekend, 130 on the weekend. That'll get you healthy in a lot of ways.
Yes. He currently is at the John Deere. He did miss the cut, +4, 146 on a round of 69 and 77.
Okay. All right. That is where the boys are this week. We want to send some love to Cole Ponich.
Yes.
Your former teammate, right? Cole Ponich. He is the Zions Bank Player of the Week by virtue of his really impressive win in the Primo Provo Open. Captured the 54-hole stroke play event with a score of 20 under 196. You break 200, that's playing some golf, man. and
wasn't he 63, 65, 65?
I believe
think
something
so, yeah.
like that. Yeah. But anyway, Cole Ponich for this effort gets a win in his first pro start. Just finished his career at Brigham Young, and in his first start as a pro at the Primo Provo Open, gets the W. And for that, he is being recognized as the Zions Bank Player of the Week, presented by Fairways Magazine. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to welcome in Kurt Craigthorpe of Fairways Magazine. We're going to talk about some really cool research and writing Kurt has been doing about families who have played in the State Am. I mean, over the course of 125 years of the State Am. This will be fun. Kurt Craigthorpe on the other side. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. Yeah. Utah Golf Radio coming back at you. We are in the mothership, getting you inside the ropes on all things golf in Utah in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. Paul and Jan with you today in the studio. We are joined by our good friends, Kelton Hirsch and Carly Hirsch, the new proprietors of T-Box in Riverton. And we are, of course, powered by T-Box, where they have cracked the code on the whole golfer experience with clubs, coaching, and community. This first hour of the show is presented by Salt Lake City Golf. Check them out at slcgolf.com or the Salt Lake City app, wherever you get your apps. We are joined now by Kurt Craigthorpe, the legend himself. Kurt's going to tell us about some research and writing he's been doing about families who have played in the State Am over its 125-year history. Kurt, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning.
So glad to have you here with us, Kurt. I don't even know where to start other than to just lob it over the net to you and say, take it, buddy. Tell us about these families that have played in the State Am.
Well, at some point, I need to tell the story about how Kelton and Carly saved my career. So.
Oh, please! Now we're
Oh, I
interested.
don't know this.
Yeah.
We'll budget some time for that at the end.
Okay.
I'll go right to your question, which got two background elements of that. One is when I was at the Tribune, it was kind of this running joke that the only kind of stories I like to do were old news. I was always looking for anniversaries to hook a story around. And then related to that is that when I started covering golf for the Tribune, I knew that the very first thing I needed to do was to familiarize myself with the Summerhays family tree. I'd better know which kids were Bruce's and which kids were Lynn. That's the starting point.
Okay.
So now here we are 34 years later, and the next generation, I was frantically trying to figure out who belonged to whom during the State Am qualifying process. So the basic genesis of my research was that I've known for a while that in 1926, Press Summerhays played in the State Am.
Uh-huh.
And he made match play. Now, part of the story of that is he lost 12-11 in the first round. Now, you're saying to yourself, how is that mathematically possible? And it is interesting that if you think the State Am is a lot of golf now, back in those days, every match was 36 holes, starting with the round of 32.
Oh, Bobby Jones is rising from his grave in exaltation.
I know that has your endorsement as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Press made match play only to get trounced by a younger player, a teenager named Seymour Nelson.
Huh.
So
Seymour Nelson. Okay.
That's the baseline there. So in 1926, I said to myself, okay, in 2026, I can do the 100-year anniversary story of the Summerhays family in the State Am. And of course, getting antsy as I always do, I decided to move it up a year, and with the excuse being that it's the 100th tournament since then.
Oh.
And the fact that it has been played every year aids my cause in that. So I decided that this was the year that I would track all the great-grandchildren of Press Summerhays as they went through State Am qualifying. And I think there were 9 of them, including Grace, who didn't make it, but has in the past, as Carly once did. But 3 of her relatives, in other words, great-grandsons of Press, did make it in. So I'll go down that list.
Yeah.
The first is named Joshua Savage, and where he fits into the family tree is he is the youngest child of the oldest Bruce Summerhays child, who is Dr. Shelley Savage.
Uh-huh.
And Joshua played at Pleasant Grove High School, graduating in 2022, so he's about 21 years old. and he actually was in a 5-for-4 playoff at Glen Eagle
Oh, nice.
after shooting a 69, and he lost. But that made him the first alternate, and as we know, with some withdrawals of exempt players in recent weeks, he by the time I checked the next day, he was in the field. So that happened fast. So he became the first, and then in one of the later competitions at Talon's Cove, Jack Summerhays, who is going to be a Farmington High School senior and is the oldest child of Danny Summerhays, qualified comfortably with a 70. And then this is kind of a fun story, because there was a Colson Summerhays also in that field, and he got in at 74. And I was trying to figure out, okay, who does Colson belong to? And the very next day in Fairways magazine in my mailbox was a story of where they are now about David Summerhays, who's Danny's oldest brother. And there was a picture of David and Colson. So that answered that question. So Colson literally is a guy I had never heard about in junior golf, but he is going to be a sophomore in high school this fall, and he qualified. So there are the three. Now, at one time I was going to use, they had to get into match play as the criteria to earn my celebrated status, but I'm hedging a little and awarding them. I mean, with what 900 people trying to get into the state am every year, just making the 156 player field is an achievement.
I agree.
Compared to the 1920s when you just signed up and played in the stroke play qualifying round.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm giving those three my full Summerhays State Am status. So it will be especially fun if any of the three makes it into match play. But credit to them for extending the family legacy already.
Yeah, that is really cool. And of course, we do all know that the Summerhays family reaches deep and wide, not only in the game in Utah, but across the nation. But it's hard to really know and remember who's the tree,
Yeah.
who's connected to who and how and why and all that. So I appreciate this a lot.
Yeah, I was just going to joke that you could have, with a little more warning, you might have been able to get this segment sponsored by one of the family search companies.
Oh, you're so right. Oh, Jan, let's do that.
Let's do that.
You have
Well,
a
there's
good
only
one.
one in business. There's only one left. There's only one left in business, so we'll call them.
Okay.
That's next year's goal.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
funny.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, what about some other families?
Well, this was an interesting one. I've been working on this series of stories all year long about kind of some of the modern current golf families and how they've produced a lot of college golfers. And so I'm on to the Clark and Angie Jones family
Yep.
for the August fairways. And I was, as one of the hooks to the story, I was glad to see that the youngest son, Austin, qualified this year.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that makes four sons, which is 4 for 4, having qualified in their at various times, plus the father,
I
Clark.
was gonna say, is
Clark,
Clark?
yeah, Clark's,
He's gotta
Clark's
make
made
Senior,
it.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, Clark's made it.
So Angie,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Really, right?
I-
She
I-
needs to go to T-Box.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
She needs to go to the T-Box to hide from all those boys.
Yeah, she's awesome. No, she's awesome.
I know, isn't she great?
Okay.
She is like the most devoted golf fan there is.
Oh, there's nothing like her.
I think I'm obsessed with tracking scores of Utah-related golfers wherever they play, but she tops me half the time. So anyway, so that got me thinking, okay, have there ever been 4 sons that have played in the state am? And so my first check, obviously, was the branches of the Summerhays family.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that Bruce and Lynn each had 3 sons play in the state am. and so the Joneses have topped them, and then with the asterisk also that Clark made it, as of course Bruce and Lynn did, but to have all 4 sons plus the father is a unique thing, and so I'm weaving the Hiskies into this story.
Oh yeah, got to.
Because I mean, imagine having 3 sons all win the Utah State Amateur while being from Twin Falls, Idaho. I mean, that's a crazy thing in history. But the fact is, there were only 3 of them. The oldest child was a daughter, so
Yeah.
So the Joneses have topped them. So when Austin tees off at 10:27 or something like that on Monday morning at the Logan Country Club, it'll be a history-making golf shot.
That is cool. That is very cool. And then the Von Elms.
Yeah, now this is an interesting one to me. I actually had met the youngest son, Roy Von Elm, who lived into this century, actually, long after his older brothers. But I didn't realize that in between Roy and the legendary George were 2 other brothers. Henry was one of them, and I'm not thinking of the other one immediately, but they all 4 won matches in the State Am in the 19 teens and 20s, although none of them made it past the quarterfinals. So, other than George winning 3 times, plus the U.S. Amateur, plus PGA Tour events.
Yeah.
But,
plus. Yeah.
So I'm saying that Clark and Angie Jones still are the only Utah parents to have 2 sons play in the final match of the State Am, with Zach winning
Yeah.
in 2022 and Cooper losing to Colt Ponich last year. So that's another distinction for them.
That is really cool. Do you include the Ridd brothers in your assessment?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a unique one too. But of course, there were only 2 of them, the twins, Craig and Keene, and famously played in the 1967 semifinals at Alpine, and which was only 3 years after their father's second title in a row.
Uh-huh.
So it's a pretty amazing decade of the 60s. But again, when you talk about Utah families, you have to start with volume, right? So you can't have only 2 sons and think you're going to make history.
Okay.
Give the Joneses another 20, 30 years. We'll probably see a few more of those.
Yeah, we might well. Exactly.
Wait till the Jones boys
We'll
start
see.
having kids.
Yeah,
Zach
Jones
just got
grandkids.
married, so we'll be having a kid by
Tyler's
next year.
married.
Yeah,
Tyler's
we'll,
married,
We'll be
yeah.
getting some Joneses by next year.
Yeah, the
sure.
Summer Hazes have 100 years on them. So.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot more branches to have to cover there.
All that's true.
Oh yeah, I'll
That's
get to
good
getting
stuff.
married quick like.
Okay. Well, this is so cool. Kurt, where are we going to be able to see this and study it? And will you have a family tree there as a graphic to show us how so that we can
That's
follow
actually a good
this?
idea. So yeah, I basically been kind of just compiling this in advance of the State Am and the August issue of Fairways. So some combination of my daily reports from Logan on the UGA website next week and the August Fairways will address this. But yeah, that's a good idea to actually graphicize it to make the point.
That is cool. Well, I'm really intrigued with this. I love what you've done. I love that you asked the question, and it's really cool. And just by way of a quick summary here, we should note, of these families, Danny Summerhays has won it twice. Preston Summerhays has won it twice. Zach Jones has won it. George Von Elms won it 3 times. And then this is really cool. Boyd Summerhays, Joe Summerhays, and Cooper Jones all were finalists. So,
That's right. I never thought about it that way.
yeah, so pretty
Pretty good
impressed.
stuff.
Pretty good stuff. And then of course we even though they didn't make the cut, apparently the cut line on this was 3 kids, and so the Ridd brothers didn't make the cut. But hey, you got to have a cut for it to be a championship. Is that right, Kelton?
There you go.
If you don't have a cut, it's not a true championship. So Keene, Craig, Sorry, dudes. But this is really cool, Craig. Hey, or Kurt. Hey, thank you so much for doing this, Kurt. We're going to be bringing you back here at 9:00 for our 10 Who Can Win segment. But we sure appreciate you jumping on and telling us all about this. This is fun stuff.
Okay, I'll rest up for 10 minutes and I'll be ready.
All right, thank you. All right, that is Kurt Craigthorpe from Fairways Magazine. I'm interested, Carly, Kelton. You guys are in the parent business now. What goes through your, and you're both champions. What goes through your minds when you hear him talking about this family kind of thing?
I mean, it's so fun. I mean, I think it's so cool to have a legacy like that, like these families, and be able to pass it down. And I mean, we'll see what happens with our kids. I mean,
oh yeah,
they're hitting it pretty good. But I mean, no pressure there. But it's so cool to be able to like play with. Like, it's awesome. I think it's
we
cool.
say no pressure, but they're also spending a lot of time at the TV.
They're doing pretty
okay,
good.
but one thing I noticed, your little boy Benson, 2 years old.
Yeah.
At the grand opening event you guys had a couple weeks ago, I was there hanging out, mostly because you had free donuts, but he was tooling around, and nobody would be able to pry a little 18-inch putter out of that kid's hand. He everywhere he went, he was carrying that putter, and every few minutes I was watching him. He'd go over and roll a putt, but he never let that out of his hand.
Well, they were upset because it was like all of their little clubs, and then other people wanted to use them. Like, we had them out, so all of a sudden they're like, "What the heck are you doing? These are mine."
They're learning young.
Yeah,
no
Benson
one
is all
touches
about
your
it.
clubs, but
No.
you.
Benson's all about it. We got rid of the binky last week, and we actually took him to
exchanged it for-
golf. So I think he'll be on the show later. I think Shane,
I love
Shane was
it.
there with me, and so we went into golf. He got a new glove and a new big club. That's what he calls like the real ones, not the plastic ones.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
big club is a real one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he got a new big club in exchange for his binkies.
I love it.
That will show you that he
You know
likes golf.
what?
That's our motivation.
That's exactly with the binky is you have to find something that they like more.
Exactly.
Now I want to know, can I type one of my grandkids' binkies and go into Uinta and trade it for a big club?
I mean, there was a little side payment on the side, but
Oh, okay,
Shane did take the payment. Yeah.
Yeah.
No cash value.
Yeah, no cash value, but it worked.
That
So-
is
It was
great.
a coupon for it was a coupon for a hot dog.
Okay. Speaking of Shane Jewett and Uinta, we need to take a break. When we come back on the other side, actually, Shane is on a plane to England this morning. We're not going to be able to talk to him, but we will talk a little Uinta golf on the things and stuff when we come back on the other side. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network.
I'm doing stuff. Things. 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 Stuff. Things. Stuff. Things. 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 Or things. Things. It's stuff. Stuff. Things. Things. Stuff. Things. Things. Stuff. Stuff.
Things and Stuff, brought to us by Uinta Golf here on Utah Golf Radio. Jan, there is a big sale going on at Uinta Golf.
There is a big sale, and it ends tomorrow, but it is a humongous sale. They have 25% off their clearance. So anything that you find on the clearance is an additional 25% off. I am heading there right after the show.
The moment is now, right?
The moment is
that what
now,
you're saying?
yes. Shoes are on sale. Besides the sales that they have in the store, they do have the 25% off the clearance stuff, and that includes shoes.
Wow, and you can take 25% off all apparel.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good thing. So in addition to trading clubs for binkies,
they sell clothes.
Good to know.
They sell clothes.
They should market that binkies for clubs or binkies for balls.
Sure. Yeah, it's like the trade-in value.
Oh, I know. That'd be great.
Uinta Golf, of course, with stores in Riverdale, Sugar House, Sandy, Orem, and St. George, part of the Utah Golf legacy. And you can head on into Uinta today. And today's
today and tomorrow. And today and tomorrow, they're also having the sale on the rangefinders.
Oh, tell us about that.
I believe it's I want to say most of them, but Bushnell, I think. But these are the handheld, not the like ones with the speakers and stuff. It's the handheld.
Okay, which are
the Nikon. It's a Nikon, I think.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Those are good.
Yeah.
Those are good. All right. Very cool. Check them out at actually worldwidegolfshops.com or uintagolf.com.
Yeah,
will
you
get
just want to
there
go
as well.
there.
It'll redirect. But just go there.
Yeah,
you know
go
where
there.
the stores are. Check
You like
them
to
out.
touch stuff.
You like to touch stuff?
Yeah. At Uinta, I like to touch everything.
I'm not even sure. Kelton, what in the world
if
do
the
we say to
process
that?
of licking
I
it
don't
and making
know.
it mine, I would do that. But yeah,
Okay.
you lick stuff to make it yours.
Oh my gosh.
What do we got next, Bob?
Well, next. Exactly.
Mostly food. Okay, sorry.
All right. Let's
we
get
go.
to next. Let's take a quick break. When we come back on the other
Yes.
side, we will be joined by Tommy Sharp and Kurt Craigthorpe for our 10 Who Can Win the State Am. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. That means Utah Golf Radio coming to you live today from the beautiful downtown studios of ESPN 700. We are in the mothership, getting you inside the ropes of all things golf in Utah, in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. Paul and Jan in the studio with you today. We are joined by our friends from T-Box Riverton, Kelton Hirsch, and Carly Hirsch. So good to have you guys with us here today. Thank you so much for joining us. And this second hour of the show is presented by Mountainland Power Equipment. Check them out at mountainlandpowerequipment.com. You are in the midst of your summer jobs. You know you need the equipment to get it done. Mountainland Power Equipment is the place. And this show is powered, as always, by T-Box, where they have cracked the code on the whole golfer experience with clubs, community, and coaching. And Carly and Kelton have a brand new T-Box in Riverton. We are celebrating that today. We are joined now by former State Am champ Tommy Sharp, Robert Thomas, RT himself, and we are joined by Kurt Craigthorpe from Fairways Magazine. And together with Kelton Hirsch and Carly Hirsch and Jan and me, we will be doing our now is the time for our 10 Who Can Win the State Am. Tommy, Kurt, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I ducked into a coffee shop. I'm walking around New York right now.
We so appreciate you joining us, Tommy. We know you're busy, but this one matters. Let me tell quickly the story of how this came to be. Tommy Sharp, of course, is former State Am champ, one of the greatest and most accomplished players in the Utah Section PGA. But before he turned pro, he was a State Am champ, and back then the State Am was just 32 in the field for the match play. And this all grew out of a conversation Tommy and I had several years ago where Tommy said, you know, we don't need it to be to 64 because there are only 10 who can win, and we know who they are. And I said, Tommy, you're right, but there's a bunch of other reasons to want to be in the State Am to see if you can make the field. I've done it a few times. I am still trying to become the oldest player ever to make the field. I've gotten real close a couple times. I haven't done it yet, but I'm not done trying. See if you can make match play. See if you can win a match. There's a lot of reasons. But Tommy is right. There really are 10 players who can win, and we know who they are. So, Tom, we're going to go through our list. We each have a list. Tommy, I'm going to start with you. Give us one name, and we'll see if he's on our list.
Well, I'll go with the obvious one, Steele DeWald.
Steele DeWald. Tommy takes Steele DeWald, and he is on my list.
Yeah, he's on mine.
He's in my number one pole position.
Okay. Kurt?
Yes, but here's the asterisk on that. I knew that he would be everyone's first name. But he's 38 years old, and the list of players who have won the State Am in their 30s and 40s is very short and are all basically Utah Golf Hall of Fame material. So
okay.
This is going to be a bigger story than you might think if he actually pulls this off.
You're also missing a lot of college kids this year.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. That's true.
That is true. That's a really good point, Tommy. And one of the reasons that it's hard to win this when you get older is because it is such an endurance test. And on the last 3 days, you're playing 36 holes. If they all go, it was scheduled 36 holes for 3 days in a row. But I will tell you, Steele DeWald is a rock-hard physical specimen.
He's a physical specimen.
Yep.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yep.
We just played with him and got to see it all, and it's wow.
Okay, Steele DeWald. All right, we're going to go to our other State Am champ here with us today. Kelton, who's next for you? Give us a name.
Simon Kwan.
Simon Kwan.
To go against a BYU guy that's won it in the past, knows what it takes. I think he's got a good chance.
Okay, Simon Kwan. Tommy, is Simon on your list?
He is.
He is. Okay.
For sure. It's on mine.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Jan?
You know what? He was on my first list, but he is not on my list.
Oh, Jan.
I know. I regret it now.
Okay.
I'm having list remorse.
Okay, so
no pick shaming this year, though.
No,
okay,
yeah, no pick shaming. No pick shaming.
No pick shaming. That's
I like it, Kurt.
Thanks, Kurt.
Kurt, is Simon on your list?
He is. 12-2 in the last 3 state AMs.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
pretty good.
Yeah, he is on my list as well. Okay. Next up, Kurt, give us a name.
Zach Phelps.
Zach
Utah
Phelps.
Tech golfer.
Yes.
Reigning UGA Player of the Year.
Exactly. Yes. And Zach Phelps is on my list. Carly?
He's not on mine.
Oh, Carly.
Not on my list either.
Jan.
Oh my
Kelton.
gosh.
Oh, Tommy.
Wow.
Tommy, do you have Zach Phelps?
He was one I eliminated, but I saw something in the mid 80s from him this winter, so I didn't like that.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Tommy.
okay.
Cracking down.
A valid point. Okay. He was a quarterfinalist last year. He was in a playoff for the Provo Open. He's the UGA Player of the Year right now. He's on my list.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, Carly.
Gotta go with another BYU guy, Tyson Shelley.
Tyson Shelley.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. On my list, Kelton.
I got him.
Kelton's got him.
I've got him.
Oh, Jan's got him. Tommy, do you have Tyson Shelley?
I have the whole family.
Fair enough. Kurt, is Tyson
I do
on?
not have Tyson.
Oh.
I agonized about that one, but I don't have him.
Oh, so interesting. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, Jan, give us a name.
David Timmons.
David Timmons. All right. Timmons is on my list. Tommy?
He's on mine. He was my number 2.
He's your number 2. Okay.
Wow.
Very good. Kurt, you got
He's my number 4.
your number 4. Okay. Carly?
He's not on my list. He's going to be my dark horse pick, though.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I like it.
Well, look, we all know he's deeply talented. We all know he's got a ton of game, but he also has not been getting reps lately. So
It
now,
could happen.
he's on my list. Absolutely on my list. So
Good guy, good
Kelton,
guy.
Kelton, he's on your list. Okay, very good. All right, Jan, give us.
Oh,
a
I
name.
already just.
You
I
did.
just did.
Carly, did
Back
we ask
around.
you?
Yeah, we gotta go back around.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
My turn. Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Dan Horner.
Dan's not on my list.
Mine either.
I struggle every year. I put him on, but I did not put him on my list this year.
Tommy?
I don't usually put the old guys on, but he's on my list this year. He's
Ooh.
not. He sold his company, and all he is doing is playing high-level golf right now.
That's all he's doing.
Okay.
Okay, Kurt, Dan Horner.
He's on my list on the logic that Arlen Peacock won the state am in Logan at age 44, and Dan is a young 47.
Yep, exactly. Plus all those reasons. Plus, I think this is the year that we see a mid-am win the state am.
Okay.
And we've already got Steele DeWald on it. Actually, David Timmons is a mid-am. But does anybody want a piece of betting against Dan Horner?
No, but I
like
that,
Dan.
Take
Yeah,
that
I'll
bet,
bet.
guys. Take that bet. I don't
Yeah.
want it. I don't want
What
it.
odds you giving me?
Valid point. Okay, we're back around. Tommy, give us another name.
Let's see. Who are we missing here? I'll go with the Moss family.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, you don't
Which
get
one?
to pick a family.
Yeah,
You got the
gotta
Shelley
pick.
family and the Moss family.
No,
I
you
do.
don't.
That was half my pick.
Yeah,
So
you-
pick your Moss.
Pick your
Okay,
Moss.
well, let's go with Bowen to start with. So you want to take Bowen?
Sure.
Okay, Bowen Moss. All right. Kurt, you got Bowen Moss?
I do.
Yep. Okay. Kelton, you got Bowen Moss?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you would. Okay.
I have him too.
Carly?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Jan?
Yes.
I do as well. Yeah, I think I'll be shocked if Bowen Moss doesn't make a run in this
Yeah,
thing.
I got him as my number 5.
Yep. Okay. All right. Kelton, give us a name.
Also Moss family.
Okay.
Moss?
You're going with Jackson?
Yeah, we'll just knock him out right there too.
Okay. Kelton, you're going to take Jackson Moss.
I got him too.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay. Jan does not. I do not. Tommy, well, you do. Yeah, you
I
told us.
do.
You have all the Mosses. Carly's got him. Kurt, you have Jackson Moss?
I do, and I'll note that Jackson was the medalist in the qualifier at Fox Hollow with a 64, and Bowen shot a 66. So that's good endorsement for them.
Yeah, no kidding, right? 64 at Fox. That's good golf, Kelton.
That's
Very good
really good.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
I'm really liking Kurt's like stats. We got Kurt.
Yep.
You're
Oh.
really putting some stats behind these picks, and I'm liking them.
Yeah,
Still
Kurt-
in mine too.
Man.
It's impressive.
Kurt's not in on this by accident, Carl.
Well, I understand. I know, but I'm really enjoying the backup of these picks. I'm liking it.
Okay, this is great stuff. All right, who's up? I lose track.
No.
Carly,
Carly.
Maybe me?
give us a name.
I'll pick Martin Leon.
Martine Leon.
I don't know if I said that correct, but
No, that's
Close.
okay. Former state am champ, remains an amateur, and he had a top 10 showing in the Provo Open here recently. Not a bad pick, Martine Leon. Tommy, you made a splash with Martine because you picked him the year he won down at Alpine. Have you got him on your list this year?
I do. He was my final pick.
Okay, so Tommy picked Martine again. Kelton, is he on your list?
Yes, he is.
Okay, Jan,
He's not on my list.
he's not on your list.
No.
Okay, he's not on my list as well.
Can we bring pick shaming back?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Let's go pick shaming back.
Okay.
Kurt said
the
no
only
pick.
guy allowed to do it because he's really good at this stuff.
That
Okay,
is
all
true.
right.
Yeah, he is.
Only
He is
you're allowed to.
Really, really good. All right. Where are we? Kurt, give us a name.
John Cook.
John Cook.
State golfer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. John Cook is on my list. And part of my thinking there is that one of the things we haven't talked about yet, it'll actually be in the next segment, a lot of renovations to the Logan Country Club. And even without them, the Logan Country Club is a local knowledge. It is a course that is best played with knowledge. And John Cook is an Aggie. He is a Utah State golfer, and he will have a knowledge advantage going into it. So Kurt, great pick there with John Cook. He's on my list as well. Tommy, did John Cook make your list?
No, I've never heard of him.
Okay, Aggie golfer. I think he'll make some noise this week. Jan, did you get John Cook?
No, I did not.
Oh.
No, I did not.
Okay,
didn't
Kelton.
either.
Okay, so John Cook is Kurt and me. All right, there we go. Where we are, Jan, I think it's your turn. Give me a name.
David Lichty.
David Lichty, a former finalist, interesting player. This is a kid who won the Southern Utah Open, beating all the pros in the state, and he made Jan's list. He actually made my list as well.
he made
Tommy?
mine as well.
Oh, he made your list,
I went out of
Carly?
order.
Okay.
Who's this? I'm sorry.
David Lichty.
Oh no, I thought about it, but nope. He's just fresh back, right?
Officially, yeah, he is just off his mission, his religious service mission, but this was a service mission. It was not a go somewhere and proselytize mission. And so he has been around and he's kind of been keeping his game in shape. So he made my list. Kelton, did he make yours?
He did.
There we go. Kelton, David Lichty made the list. Okay.
Been training a bunch of T-Box. We want to plug that in there.
Yeah, actually, he is affiliated with T-Box somehow. I'm not exactly sure the details, but he shows up wearing T-Box stuff all the time.
Yep.
So, and Carly, did David Lichty make your list?
Yes, he did.
Okay, there we. Oh, I already noted that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went out of order. That was my
No,
bad.
no, that's all good. That's all good. Okay, very good. Let's see. Now we're down to the point. Tommy, just give us the rest of your names.
I think we're only missing the rest of the Shelleys, Austin and Jackson.
Okay. That is so Jackson Shelley. And you've got them both, right?
Yep.
Okay, I've got Jackson Shelley. So let's do Jackson first. Kurt, do you have Jackson Shelley?
I do not have Jackson. I do have Austin.
Oh, how interesting is that? Okay, you're going to take the younger brother. Okay. Carla.
I don't have Jackson.
Okay.
I do have Jackson.
You have Jackson Kelton. Okay, very good. And Jan, do you have Jackson? No for Jan. Okay, Austin. I do not have Austin. Kurt, do you have Austin?
Yes, Austin.
Okay, you've got them both. All right. So, Kelton, do you have Austin? Do not. Carly, do you have Austin?
I don't.
Okay. Jan?
No.
He might be the most improved player this whole year. I bet he's improved 5 shots.
Oh, that's an interesting observation, Tommy. You're right. So he is the youngest of the Shelley brothers. He got his first PPR event at Fox Hollow this year, and he won the UGA Junior State Am with an impressive, gutsy win over the Erickson kid. Now I'm blanking on his first name. Jackson. Thank you, Jackson Erickson. So this kid's coming in form, and boy, Tommy, you make a really interesting point. Really has picked up his game. All right, does that complete your list, Tommy?
Yeah.
Okay. Kelton, finish out your list for us.
Last one is Cole Ogden.
You're picking Cole Ogden. How interesting. I hovered over Cole Ogden.
We only
And
get to see him a few times a year, but he can go low and
he can
play some really good rounds.
He can. He's a former champ in this event, and you're exactly right. He doesn't always show up, but when he does, you got to take him seriously. And that's a really interesting pick there, Cole Ogden. Okay. Kurt, finish out your list for us, please.
All 10 have been covered.
Okay, there we go. All right, Carly.
Okay, I have Rawson Hardy, who seems like a young guy. I was doing some basic research, Kurt. Very, very little, but it looks like he's a Georgia Tech commit.
No, it's a
You know,
good pick.
Well, and
Young guy,
but this is my story earlier. My two dark horses, but I'm only allowed to have one. Is I had the opportunity one day to play with Rawson Hardy and Elliott Bond.
Okay.
And so I have this little thing with them. So I love them and I like to pick them, and I usually pick one of them as my dark horse. However, Rawson Hardy was the junior player, UGA Player of the Year last year, wasn't he?
UJGA.
UJGA.
Yes.
So so Rawson Hardy's an excellent.
He's
pick.
also won an AJGA.
Yes,
AJGA
he is
event.
an excellent pick. He's on my list.
This is a good pick.
Okay,
Rawson
good. I'm
Hardy's a good pick.
liking it. Okay, and I have Darren Overson.
Okay.
I like Darren, and then I also have John Fox, who's I think a good age and good player, and yeah.
Okay.
To Olympus size, but he's a little bit older now.
Very nice. Okay. Then, Kurt, we finished out your list. Tommy, we got yours. Jan, finish out your list.
I have Boston Watts. I know, random, huh?
No, not random. He's a good player. He has not shown up in a lot of events. He's not entering them. I don't know why.
And
I just saw him last night, and he
Okay.
said he's been kicking his brother's butt out at Oak Ridge lately. So.
Really?
all right, I like
Okay.
I like hearing
That-
that.
that is true.
Anybody beating Braxton,
Braxton
Watts
Watts.
has
Anyway,
to be taken
that's
seriously.
exactly why I
Yeah.
did it. It's because I
Okay.
knew he's the brother.
No, that's good. That's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah,
Nicely done,
we
Kelly.
heard it here first from
Okay.
the source last night.
Boston Watts, Jan.
And I did. I went a little bit. I did some research and I did mine by the handicaps, by plus
Okay,
handicaps.
okay.
So, I also like Lucas Schoen.
Okay. This is really good. Lucas Schoen is again a former Southern Utah Open champion. Good player. He is a mid-am at this point. He's finished at college,
That's what you
hasn't
said.
he?
There you said.
Yeah,
You said a mid-am
Yeah.
would win.
mid-am will win. Okay. Anybody else we missing, Janet? Do we get your list?
It's pretty much got it.
Okay. All right. Now let's go to everybody's dark horse. Tommy, we'll start with you.
Hold on, I'm walking right through Times Square. Get out of the loudness.
Okay. Just in
I'm
case
going
anybody.
with- I am going with a next year going to Utah State player in Noah Moody.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
I almost took Noah.
Oh, I like that one.
Okay, he's got really good DNA. This is Chris Moody's kid. Interesting pick. Great, solid pick. Okay, Kelton, dark horse.
I also broke the rules here, Jan. I got two dark horses.
You guys.
Okay.
One, we already talked Boston Watts.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. See there.
The other one is Luke Crapo.
Yes.
Mid-am.
Yeah.
He took me out a couple years ago in the quarterfinals. He's made some good runs in match
Yep.
play.
He has. He
He's,
has.
he's one of those scary guys that once he gets going, you can lose in a hurry.
Yeah.
He
Like
knows
that.
from
You could
experience.
lose in a hurry. Was this a spank down?
No, he did get me an extra holes.
Okay, but he got you. Yeah.
It was a
Okay.
good match.
No, Luke is a good player, quality player.
Yeah.
That's a really good pick. Okay. Kurt, who is your dark horse?
John Fox shot a 63 at Ogden last year and made a good run in match play and played well in the Provo Open last week.
Yes, he did. Okay, interesting. Good pick. Good dark horse there. Carly, who's your dark horse?
I have David Timmons.
Oh, you moved David down to the dark horse.
I did. No offense, David. He's a great guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Probably will be offended, actually.
Oh my! I'll send him a text.
Well, no, look, I've got him high on my list, but he could have fallen anywhere. And the thing here is reps.
Totally.
David has not been getting reps lately. And in an endurance test like the State Am, you've got to, somewhere along the way, you're going to have to gut one out. And
I say from experience, like Kelton and I both, like we don't play that much anymore. It's a different thing. Like you're not as sharp. So that's why I put it.
Yeah. Okay. Valid point. Okay, Jen.
My
You
dark
get two. Okay.
Okay. My dark horses were Rawson Hardy and Elliott Bond.
Okay. Very good.
Because they're both
kids.
still very, very young.
All right. Yeah. Very, very young.
Yeah, very young. And,
Okay.
and might not have, all the wherewithal, but, they can get lucky.
Okay.
Elliott's got a really good putter. I used to coach him a little bit. He can putt the ball. So
Yeah.
if he
Yeah,
gets
he's a
going
stud.
and starts seeing his lines, he can.
Okay, and
You can do
that will make a big difference in a course
Uh-huh.
like Logan.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We just played it.
There,
Yes.
there
yes,
are
it will.
several greens where the ball can
Ro-
it can get away from you in a hurry.
and you
at
just
Logan.
wave.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday.
Bye.
So, yeah. Okay, my dark horse, I'm going to go the opposite direction as you. Jan, you went with
Yep.
young guys. I'm
Oh.
going for a senior player.
Okay.
And this guy made the list earlier, but my dark horse is Darren Overson.
Okay.
Darren is a former champ. He won it in 1998. It's
And he
been a
just
minute.
he just got back from the senior.
Just got
senior,
back
senior
from
Open.
the U.S. Senior Open. He
Mhm.
played his way into a USGA National Championship, and that is no small thing. And so this is a guy who is in form. He has won a couple of times already on the UGA Senior Circuit, and has shown he knows how to win. I talked to him the other day, and frankly, I asked him about his physical conditioning. Can you last 36 holes 3 days in a row? And he was totally confident he could. I think it's going to be really hard, but I'm putting Darren Overson as my dark horse pick. All right. Let's kind of review where we are here. My note-taking is really messy.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got Tyson Shelley, David Timmons, Zach Feltz, Steele DeWald. Steele is everybody's number one. Simon Kwan, Dan Horner, David Lichty, Jackson Shelley, Bowen Moss, John Cook, Darren Overson, Boston Watts, Lucas Schoen, Jackson Shelley, Austin Shelley, I said Jackson Moss, Cole Ogden, Martine Leon, Rawson Hardy, Darren Overson, John Fox. Now, that's more than 10. I understand that. But those are the people who comprise the list from all of us here.
But if you
all of our,
if you pulled off just the ones we really know, it's probably 10.
well, look at
Because
let's
John Fox is not one that it's not a common one. We've not seen that name in the mix every year.
Yeah.
Like we see Bowen Moss.
Well, let's look at some of the names who made all of our list. It started with Steele DeWald. He made everybody's list. Bowen Moss made everybody's list.
Tyson Shelley.
Tyson Shelley. Well, no, actually, Kurt didn't have Tyson
Kurt
Shelley.
didn't.
Kurt, are we going to pick shame you on this one?
Let's do pick shame.
Pick shame.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's talk next
Six
Saturday
to
at
one.
this time, Steve.
6 to 1.
Okay, actually, that's a great response.
Yeah.
A great response, Kurt, because winning the State Am is so hard. Here we are. I'm sitting across from a State Am champ. We've got a State Am champ on the phone, Kelton Hirsch, Tommy Sharp, and yet it's always in the back of my head. This is so hard to
hard.
win that some year nobody's going to win it. There just won't be a State Am champ because nobody can survive this grueling test. But it is, and so there's a lot of reasons for even great players like Tyson Shelley to be knocked out somewhere along the way. But that's it. Those are those are the players. Tommy, thank you for joining us. You're busy with your family back in New York, and you're taking time with us. Go get some street food and have some fun. Thank you so much for being a part of it with us today. And thank you, Tommy, for creating this whole fun thing that we do each year. It all came about because of you. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Glad I could still participate.
Tommy, you're
every
supposed to
year-
you're supposed to grab a slice, wrap it around a hot dog, and eat it all at once.
I eat all the falafels. That's our fan
Oh,
favorite.
the
Oh,
falafel.
nice.
Okay,
Nice.
okay.
Yeah.
Street
Street food
falafels.
street
tho-
food's
yes,
good.
those
New
are
York.
good. Those
New
are
York
good.
street food, good.
All right, thank you, Tommy. We so appreciate
Yep,
you.
thank you.
Okay, Kurt, thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go,
We have to find.
We
have
need
to
to
know the
cycle
story.
back.
We
We
have to
wanna
go back to
hear-
the story of how Carly and Kelton saved you.
Okay, so I retired from the Tribune in January of 2020, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now in life? And luckily, thanks to Randy Dodson, the answer was Fairways. And the first story that I did in that new quote full-time phase of Fairways was I always wanted to tell the story of how Carly and Kelton got together. So they were the first interview I did, and I literally had months to do it, but I just woke up one day and I said, I have to write something. So I wrote up the story of Carly and Kelton and their courtship and marriage, and so that rejuvenated me. Now, the corollary to that is that there now are two more golf power couples in the state. They were kind of their own demographic for a while, but now Jordan Costello, the former U of U golfer, has married Haley Greb, who played for Annie Thurman Young at both Colorado State and Tulsa.
Yep.
And they live in southern Utah. And Carly knows Kaylin Ponich,
Yep.
who's now the SUU women's golf coach, and you'll have to tell me who she's marrying, but it's a former UVU golfer, right?
Brady McKinley.
Brady
Oh
McKinley.
no,
yeah.
Brady McKinley.
Yeah, they're getting.
Oh wow.
Actually, it's kind of like close.
I think
isn't
they
it?
just got married.
Oh, maybe
like
they just did it.
in the last month or so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and Kaylin was your teammate at
She was-
UVU,
I was graduated, but
Oh,
I
okay.
knew her, but we didn't cross over. But it was like 1 year off.
and she's now coaching at SUU. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is great.
Well,
so
that's so nice.
I
No,
love
that is
these
really
golf
cool.
power couples. This is
No.
so
Glad we
cool.
can pave the way.
Yeah,
you,
for
gu-
real.
you guys are the OGs, OG golf power
No,
couple.
the way
Yeah.
the thing I love the most, Kurt, is that after your storied, legendary career writing about sports in
You wrote a
Utah,
love story.
Yeah, you make you
I'm
say
a softie at heart.
yeah.
Yes, you are.
sa-
Kurt,
save
I've
your
always known
career-
you're a softie.
You save your career with a bachelor report. I love it.
Well, thanks, Kurt.
Thanks to you guys.
All right, that is great. So that's Kurt. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.
Glad to do it.
That is Kurt Craigthorpe and Tommy Sharp on the phones with the 10 who can win. Before we put a wrap on this, Kelton, you've been there. You've survived this event. You've lifted the trophy. What do you think of our list? Did we have it right?
I think we got it right. I think Tommy said it. There's a lot of the college guys that aren't playing this year, so we could see something different.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
a
know,
big
and-
thing. We didn't see a lot of the college
Yeah.
players because there's no Cooper Jones in here. There's no.
Yeah, if you look the last 10 years, I bet 8 to 9 of them are current college players.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see what happens. This could be the year that it's not that way, and we'll see.
Well, I think your point is valid. I think this is the year of Mid-Am wins for a lot of reasons. The college players is one of them. The nature of this course is one of them. Randy Dodson made the observation with me, a conversation earlier this week. He thinks the player who plays irons off the tee best wins this week. And that is both a golf shot execution comment and a course management discipline comment. Having the discipline.
Yep. We talked about discipline
Yeah.
versus courage.
Yeah, discipline versus courage.
Mid-Ams, we do kind of struggle with discipline on the course.
Yeah, well,
So-
we talked about that a lot. I mean, discipline versus courage. I mean, that has youth versus maturity. You know, the discipline to use an iron and not bomb it out there, knowing you could bomb it out there, but knowing that if you used iron, you would be out there.
Well,
So-
Jan, when you and I played with Steele DeWald in the media event
Yes.
this last week, one of the things he kept talking about was hitting his 7-wood off the tee.
And you
well-
helped him a lot as far as moving around the course and some angles that he wasn't
Yeah.
aware of. So
He had never played it
Yeah,
before,
he'd
and
never played it, so it
I'm
was
pretty
really
familiar
great.
with it because we played it a lot in college.
Okay, I
when
wanna
I was
know-
when I was at Boise
So if he
State.
wins, like
we were
he's got
there,
to be
yeah.
thanking
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
That-
I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think
I'm,
so.
I'm sure this. I'm sure.
I would
that
say yes.
His
I would
speech
say-
will be
I
all
would
about
say
me.
yes.
I like it.
Okay, so here's what I want to know.
What's that?
I want to know who you want in the playoff.
Who? Oh, in the playoff for the 64th spot? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
I mean let's just say it gets down to 2 players.
Well, it will. It's a match play.
Yeah,
to
I
get
know.
down
But
to two in the
okay,
final.
I know, but who do you want it to be?
Oh, in the finals?
Yes.
Oh, I think it'd be fun to see Steele and Dan Horner.
Ooh, that would be a feisty matchup.
That would-
Let's
I'd
pick
like to see a Steele or a Darren
Mhm.
Thompson versus like a Bowen Moss or a
Yeah.
Jackson Shelley. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that would an old guy, young guy.
older guy versus a high school guy.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay, Kelton, you make a good point. That would be cool.
That'd be
too.
fun.
Okay, how about you, Jan?
I think I would like to see a. Is it weird that I would want a Tyson Shelley Steele DeWald?
Okay, no, that's not weird.
That's
Carly?
not weird.
I just
Carly?
think that's. I just think that would
No,
be
that's
so.
not
I
weird.
think that would be a really intense.
I mean, I think I'm just gonna
Situation.
go with the cliche, but I think it'd be cool to have a brother matchup.
Ooh,
Jackson Shelley,
yes,
Jason,
excellent.
Bowen, and
Yes,
Ross.
let's do
Okay.
a
Why
brother.
not? Throw it out there.
Okay, that would be really
That
cool.
would
That-
now,
okay,
'cause didn't
yeah.
did we ever get a Jones one?
No,
No?
no, they never.
I
They
think
never.
they were close that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
you were.
So obviously, we need to wait to see what happens with what people shoot in the 36-hole stroke play qualifier. That will take place Monday and Tuesday at both the Logan Country Club and Eagle Mountain in Brigham City. The field will split and alternate those two courses those 2 days. The playoff for the final spots in the 64-player bracket will take place in the mid-evening, 7:30, somewhere on that order, on Tuesday at Eagle Mountain. We will live stream that playoff, and then Wednesday morning, starting at 9:30, a little bit later tee times this year, in order to let the wind coming down the Logan Canyon, let it blow itself out a bit. 9:30 starting each morning, and on Wednesday, the round of 64. But after the stroke play, we'll know where everybody falls on the bracket, and we'll be able to project, Carly, if these kinds of matchups are even possible. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Well, and even with the same thing with the families in the State Am that Kurt did, this is kind of the only situation where we can have brothers. I mean, doesn't happen in other State Ams very often. This is a unique.
Yeah,
this
so-
is very unique to Utah, to us.
Most state Ams are stroke play events. That is true. So, but the Moss brothers, they could do it. Obviously, there's three. There's three.
They have better
Shelley
odds.
brothers.
Better odds.
Better
Yeah,
odds.
Shelley's.
And then and then cousins with Jack and Colton. Colson.
Colson, yeah.
Jack and Colson Summerhays.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Interesting.
All right. Real quick, we have got to talk about somebody who needs some relief. Okay, we're going to move on without our little theme song. Duro needs some relief, brought to us by Duro Health. And boy, howdy, folks. Check them out at durohealth.com. I've been going, and I just plain feel better, and I'm able to make my turn better.
I heard about your
rotation.
rotation. I saw on the machine where you were and now where you are.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's working.
That's impressive.
Okay, I'll tell you who needs some relief, and that's the PGA Tour with their pace of play policy. I think this is easy. Penalty stroke these guys. Hit them where it hurts, and they will play fast.
Yep. I agree.
Am I wrong, Kelton?
Kelton's like,
Penalty strokes will speed people up.
That is the only thing. That's the only way to get it.
Gotta do it.
It's like slapping a kid's hands on before they touch the stove. I mean, you just how else are you going to get it?
Okay, so
Penalty stroke.
People who need relief. PGA Tour with their pace of play. That's been in the news lately. And now let's do Honest Is. Honest Is brought to us by Next Level Golf. Check them out at nextlevelgolf.com. I like this little story for Honest Is. It is the Bird family. Do you guys remember Jonathan Bird, a 6-time winner on the PGA Tour? Most famous. I love this story. Jonathan Bird won a playoff. It was in the Vegas tournament, the Shriners. He won a playoff with an ace. How cool is that? Anyway, their family, Jonathan's son Jackson, will play at Clemson University next year. for the coach who is his uncle, Jordan Bird. So and Jonathan Bird played his college golf at Clemson as well. So anyway, I love it when things like that come together. We've been talking family stuff. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to be joined by Tom Davidson, the GM of the Logan Country Club, to talk about renovations to this great course. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. Yeah, Brother Tom bringing us back, which is appropriate. We are preparing to welcome in Tom Davidson, the general manager of the Logan Golf and Country Club. We are coming to you in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. We are powered by T-Box, and this second hour of the show is presented by Mountainland Power Equipment. We are happy now to welcome in Tom Davidson, who is going to tell us all about changes to the Logan Country Club. Tom, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Paul. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today.
Thank you so much for joining us. Tom, you guys have had heavy equipment on this venerable course. Tell us what you've been doing.
You know, we've been really giving Logan Country Club, the course itself, a pretty major makeover. It was a desire of our new owner to kind of bring the club into the next 100 years. And so I think we've done that in a big way. And with the help of the course designer, Gene Bates, I think we were able to create something that kind of maintained the old bones of this wonderful golf course, but it updated it to a point where it can now challenge the modern game. And it's turned out beautifully, but as you said, we've had a year and a half really of seeing a lot of dirt exposed. It really kind of looked like a war zone every now and then. And I tell you, going through all that, I just remember thinking that, man, it will sure be nice when I pull into the club one morning and I don't hear heavy equipment operating. And we're at that point right now. So it's been a difficult process, but one that's been extremely rewarding. And I think the final product is exactly what we were hoping for.
Well, I certainly want to chime in and say it is, I think, a real triumph. The golf course is beautiful. Logan has always been a beautiful golf course. You've maintained that. I love your use of the term bones. The bones are there. The legacy of that golf course is there. But I think it's improved across the board. I had the privilege of riding around with Keith Hansen a couple of weeks ago, talking about the changes to the course. He was deeply involved in all this, as he should be. And then, of course, we got to play it earlier this week in Media Day. I think you guys have scored on every point. Let's start with talking about the bunkering. The bunkering is different from the course we played in college. The bunkering is better, and it is more challenging. Let's start there, Tom.
Yeah, that's for sure, Paul. And, we built 57 new bunkers, or rebuilt every bunker. So we took a few out, but really strategically placed other bunkers. Again, our goal here was to keep the course fun for any level of player, so that they could come and have an enjoyable time. But we needed to give the golf course a little bit of teeth, and the bunkers is the way that we have accomplished part of that mission. So, they're kind of true to a Gene Bates style. If you've ever followed Gene at all, he's done a couple of really nice golf courses in the state of Utah here, in Talons Cove, Green Spring, the Canyons course. But I got to know Gene up at Circling Raven when I was a director of golf up there. And so we brought him in to help us do those things. And, I think they're placed strategically to either force a player to take a gamble and hit a spectacular shot, or play it more like Gene has designed it to play, and that is hit it to a particular spot, and then the hole will open up for you. And, I think they do a wonderful job of that. They have a very unique look, and our maintenance on those is significantly different than the way we've maintained bunkers before. So our superintendent has also done a fabulous job to adapt to making those really nice and playable day to day.
Oh, let's send a shout to the super and his crew. The course is in absolutely fantastic shape. The fairways are premium. It's like hitting off a Bum Phillips head. The greens are rolling true, and they're firm, which I love. The rough is gnarly. It is serious. You do not want to be in that rough. And then, Tom, let's talk about the other thing, and I believe this is a Gene Bates edition that makes the course kick back, and that is the fescue lining the fairways. A really terrific addition.
It really has been, and it was kind of developed later on when we, in talks with Gene, we have areas that are really kind of open, pretty much void of play a lot of the time, but we were maintaining them like the regular golf course, just as a rough height, irrigating them, fertilizing them, watering them. And so it was pretty clear that, those areas really could be more of an aesthetically pleasing area than just one that looks like just a green expanse. And so we decided to put in a Lynx Blend fescue that's in its second year, so it's not quite fully mature yet. But as that matures, we'll have an area that develops this nice golden hue through the midsummer. It will thin out a little bit from what it is right now, but as you mentioned, it is extremely punishing right now.
Yeah, it's funny to me to hear you say that it's aesthetically pleasing. I'm thinking, unless you're looking for your ball and counting down to 3 minutes.
That's exactly right. It is extremely punishing right now, but I think for the State Am, again, we want to separate players.
Yeah.
And it'll be the player that controls their golf ball the most effectively and is able to place the ball in a spot where they have, again, a great opportunity to hit the ball close. That's what we were trying to achieve. The primary rough itself, just between the fairway and the fescue, that will also be very lush. We've noticed with a brand new irrigation system installed in 2023 and 2024 that our rough areas are now extremely lush.
Yeah.
And so we've had to experiment with different rough heights there, but we wanted to make that punishing as well, not to a point where you can't advance the ball, but it will make a shot into the green very difficult to hold. And again, I think it challenges more the modern game. You know, I grew up playing this golf course. I first played here when I was 9-10 years old.
Wow.
And I learned to just hit it as far as you can, and then wherever the ball is, you kind of gouge it out, and you'll likely have a short club in your hand, and that's how we played the golf course. Well, it's completely changed now. You cannot just wail away with the driver and expect to have an opportunity to hit the ball close.
No,
That's kind of what we were trying to do with the bunkers and the fescue.
Well, you've accomplished it. I think it will play really tough. In the Northern Utah Amateur recently, 69 won. People go in there thinking, oh, it's a 6,300-yard course. I can go stupid low. Well, yeah, maybe if you hit a lot of really good shots. But 69 won the Northern Utah Am. I think it's going to be a really good test for these superb players, these great players in the State Am. I think it'll work them. And I think by the time we get to the quarters, we're going to see absolutely the top players in the state. Tom, I like your use of the term separation. I think this course will be a separator. I think it will bring the cream to the top. Another thing I want to talk to you about is the routing. Those of us who played this course over the years have a very distinct routing in mind. We think of that great, really difficult but gettable par 5 in the goat holes as being number 14. It no longer is. Tell us about the routing change.
Yeah, so the routing change came about as we made a few changes to some holes, specifically our old number 6, which will eventually be our new number 18. And we discovered an area there where we could build a new green that our owner and many of our team here felt like that was just such a spectacular setting that is where the course needed to end. A round needed to end right there. And so now we will have, again, the old 4, 5, and 6 will be our 16, 17, and 18. And I think those 3 holes, if you look at those 3, there's a tremendous amount of risk and reward in those 3 holes. And once that new green gets open, it's going to be perched right on the edge of the canyon there. You'll be able to look out over Cache Valley and the Wellsville Mountains in the distance, and it is truly spectacular. And that green is going to be extremely challenging. It's a Biarritz-style green, kind of a Seth Rayner, ode to Seth Rayner, and it's going to produce some amazing pin placements that will challenge the best for sure. But overall, we wanted a routing that flows well still for our membership, and it's proven to do just that. We basically converted the back 9 to the front 9 now, and for the tournament itself, the old front 9 will be the back 9, finishing here at the clubhouse on the old number 9. But I think, again, this golf course you mentioned has so much risk-reward for a match play situation. I think it's going to produce some amazing drama as these players come down the stretch, and especially in the final 16 to 8 matches. If you're down a couple with a few to go, you're going to be able to take some risks to get right back into your match. And if you hit the shots, I'm betting that will happen. And it will, I think, again, produce a lot of excitement for those both participating and here watching the championship.
Yeah, I agree with you completely on that. And then for the State Am, there's another couple little tweaks to the routing, and the holes that for years we have known as 7, 8, and 9 will be the finish of the routing for the State Am. It will be 16, 17, and 18, which means that the old number 8, that short dogleg left par 4, will be number 17. And Kelton, this is a hole that is gettable. It also is a hole that will punish you if you don't hit a perfect shot. Actually,
boy.
in the media day, Tyson Shelley hit a perfect shot.
Mm-hmm.
He hit a 255-yard 4-iron over the tree, over the corner, over the bunkers, made a hole in one on this par 4 hole. It is an incredibly risky shot. In a normal situation, it's a stupid shot. But if you're one down on 17, hit that shot.
That's the beauty of match play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make it 10 and it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly.
You can make it 2 or you can make it 10. It's you win the hole or you lose the hole.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's what makes match play so fun, and those risks you can take that you usually don't take, and even hitting putts more aggressively. You'll always see more putts going in match play. It just seems to happen because you're playing more aggressive and not afraid to lose holes or
Yeah, you're just not playing afraid.
Yeah.
Different. So.
Yeah.
Very, very good point. Well, Tom, I think what you guys have done there is just a triumph. I think that this golf course is a wonderful match play golf course, and its condition is absolutely premium, absolutely beautiful, and its playing condition is absolutely spot on. I love the renovations. I love the design. I love what it's going to be for a match play tournament. This will separate the greatest players in the state, and it will find a worthy champion. I think you've done a wonderful job there, Tom. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Paul. We are super excited to kind of unveil all that we've done over the last year and a half to the players of the state amateur. And I think, again, they're going to find it, if they have control of their golf ball, it's very gettable. But there's also some double digits waiting and lurking.
They're out there.
We've seen that. We've seen that in the Northern Utah Amateur. I've never seen in my career of 30 years in the PGA of America so many double-digit scores on holes in my life. And so, but I've also the winner you mentioned, the front 9, he shot 31. The back 9, he shot 38.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
there was a couple of holes there where there was a 7 made. And so, yeah, it's going to test the best. And, again, we're super excited to host this championship and wish all the players the best of luck.
Thank you so much. We're looking forward to next week, Tom.
Thank you so much, Paul.
All right, that is Tom Davidson, the general manager of the Logan Country Club. The renovations, Jan, we played it the other day.
Great.
It is absolutely fantastic. The course condition could not be better. Kelton, the fairways allow you to hit a really good shot, and it allow you to hit a properly struck shot, and the greens are firm. A properly struck shot will sit down within 5 to 10 feet. A shot that is not properly struck will skip.
Oh, yeah.
It will bounce. It will go, which is, I think, the way it should be.
For sure.
Absolutely. All right. Holy cow, we have burned through our time. But
We
Jan,
have.
what's next?
You know what's next, Paul?
I do. It's the What's Next segment where we will have probably 20 seconds to tell you what's coming up next in Utah Golf. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. Yeah. Utah Golf Radio putting a bow on the show. What's next in Utah Golf, brought to us by the Utah Golf Association. What's next, Jan, is State Am. Next week is the State Am.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and we will be all State Am all day, every day, all the time. The stroke play, Monday, Tuesday, we will do live streaming of the playoff, which we expect, mathematically maybe not, but it's going to happen. The playoff, that'll be 7:30 on Tuesday evening, live streaming on the UGA Instagram account. Round of 64 on Wednesday, and then it gets gnarly from there. 32 and 16 on Thursday. Quarters, semis on Friday, and on Saturday morning, the finals of the State Am. We will be at Logan Country Club with this show. We will have on-course reporting for the first little bit, and then live stream the State Am final after that. So that's what's next in Utah Golf. Nothing else matters right now. It's the State Am. Kelton Hirsch, thank you so much for joining us, the State Am champ. We're so glad to have you here with us. Carly Hirsch, thank you so much for joining us. UGA Player of the Year, and now you guys running the T-Box in Riverton. So glad to have you here with us. Thank you, everybody, thanks to everybody who was on the show. Thank you all for listening. This is Paul Pugmire saying, don't jab it like Jan.
Jan Brownstein says, chug it, don't pug it.
Always good advice. Please replace your divots, fix your ball marks, and for Andy Curtis, guys, don't spit
sunflower seeds on the green. Oi.
You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network.